In 2016, on a warm September night, San Francisco's 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick did something deceptively small. He refused to stand for the national anthem. His reason was anything but small. I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people. It would be selfish to look the other way when bodies lie in the street and police get away with murder. A single knee bent on the sideline set off an earthquake. Some called it unpatriotic, others called it revolutionary. But by 2017, Kaepernick was without a team. Not one NFL owner would sign him. His silent protest became a silence imposed upon him. He was exiled from the very league he once electrified.
If people say your dreams are crazy, if they laugh at what you think you can do, good. Stay that way. Because what non-believers fail to understand is that calling a dream crazy is not an insult. It's a compliment. Don't try to be the fastest runner in your school or the fastest in the world. Be the fastest ever. Don't picture yourself wearing OBJ's jersey. Picture OBJ wearing yours. Don't settle for homecoming queen or linebacker. Do both. Lose 120 pounds and become an Ironman after beating a brain tumor. Don't believe you have to be like anybody to be somebody. If you're born a refugee, don't let it stop you from playing soccer for the national team at age 16. Don't become the best basketball player on the planet. Be bigger than basketball. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. When they talk about the greatest team in the history of the sport, make sure it's your team. If you have only one hand, don't just watch football, play it at the highest level. And if you're a girl from Compton, don't just become a tennis player. Become the greatest athlete ever. Yeah, that's more like it. So don't ask if your dreams are crazy. Ask if they're crazy enough.
Kaepernick's protest was never meant to sell anything. It was sacrifice pure and unpolished, the kind that costs you everything, yet America has a way of turning even rebellion into spectacle. By 2018, Kaepernick's face filled billboards under Nike's iconic slogan, "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything." The ad was stripped down, black and white, less of a commercial than a martyr's portrait repurposed for corporate branding. Nike's vice president hailed him as one of the most inspirational athletes of this generation. But inspiration was also a product, and it sold well. Sneakers vanished from shelves. After a short dip, stock prices climbed. Critics sliced swooshes off socks and burned their shoes, while supporters from LeBron James to Serena Williams praised the campaign as an act of courage. Here lies the contradiction. Kaepernick's career was sacrificed to protest injustice, but his likeness became a marketing tool. His silence on the field echoed in unemployment, while his image whispered across checkout counters. The protest lived, but only as brand currency.
What are you trying to accomplish? What would you like this to be the end game for you?
That's basically. Ultimately, it's to bring awareness and make people, realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust. People aren't being held accountable for, and that's something that needs to change. That's something that, this country stands for: freedom, liberty, justice for all. And it's not happening for all right now.
Is this something that's evolved as a philosophy in your mind, and how has this kind of progressed that you make a stand like this?
It's something that I've seen, I've felt, wasn't quite sure how to deal with originally, and it is something that's evolved. It's something, as I've gained more knowledge about what's gone on in this country in the past, what's going on currently. These aren't new situations. This isn't new ground. It's things that have gone on in this country for years and years and have never been addressed, and they need to be.
Will you continue, Colin, to sit? Will you continue to sit?
Yes, I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. To me, this is something that has to change. And when there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand.
Specifically, what would you like to see change in order for you to stand?
There's a lot of things that need to change. One specifically is police brutality. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people. That's not right. That's not right by anyone's standards.
Colin, so many people see the flag as kind of a symbol of military. How do you view it, and what do you say to those people?
I have great respect for men and women that have fought for this country. I have family, I have friends that have gone and fought for this country. And they fight for freedom. They fight for the people. They fight for liberty and justice for everyone. And that's not happening. I mean, people are dying in vain because this country isn't holding their end of the bargain up as far as, giving freedom and justice and liberty to everybody. It's something that's not happening. And I've seen videos, I've seen circumstances where men and women that have been in the military have come back and been treated unjustly by the country they fought for and have been murdered by the country they fought for on our land. That's not right.
Colin, do you personally feel oppressed? Personally?
There have been situations where I feel like I've been ill-treated, yes, but this stand wasn't for me. This stand wasn't because I feel like I'm being put down in any kind of way. This is because I'm seeing things happen to people that don't have a voice, people that don't have a platform to talk and have their voices heard and affect change. So I'm in a position where I can do that, and I'm gonna do that for people that can't.
Okay, I think we've passed kneeling. I think it's time to go into actionable items. I think everyone knows what the issue is, and we're done with that. Everyone knows what you know what the issue is? You know why we were kneeling? Okay, do you know the issue? Yeah, do you know the issue? Yes? We all know the issue now. Okay, next. Where are we moving on next? And I'm not, again, so to be clear for the room, I'm not minimizing that part of it because that has to happen. That's a necessary part of the process. But now we all know what's going on. What are we going to do? How are we going to stop? Because the kneeling was not about a job. It was about injustice. Let me bring attention to injustice. Everyone's saying, how are you going forward? And Cap doesn't have a job. This wasn't about him having a job.
Then came Jay-Z, mogul, icon, survivor of the Marcy Projects turned billionaire. Long seen as an ally of Kaepernick in 2019, he stunned the world by standing shoulder to shoulder with NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. The announcement, Jay-Z would partner with the league as its live music entertainment strategist. When asked about kneeling, Jay-Z replied, "I think we've moved past that. I'm not minimizing what Colin did, but now that everyone knows, what are we going to do next?" To some, it sounded like progress. To others, betrayal. Eric Reed, Kaepernick's former teammate, called it asinine, a money move dressed as activism. When has Jay-Z ever taken a knee, Reed asked, for you to get paid to go into an NFL press conference and say we're past kneeling? Asinine. The tension was generational and personal. Jay-Z saw compromise as strategy. Critics saw it as sellout. Was he a bridge or shield for the league? Was he carrying forward Kaepernick's cause or burying it under halftime shows and corporate checks? The NFL had managed a PR coup. The same league accused of blackballing a protester now had the world's most influential black rapper at its side. Progress and profit blurred, and the question remained, who truly benefited? Years earlier, the Boondocks saw this coming. In a 2008 episode The Hunger Strike, Huey Freeman launches a hunger strike against BET, declaring the network poisonous to black culture. His sincerity attracts Reverend Rollo Goodlove, a charismatic preacher who turns Huey's protest into a stage show. Crowds chant, cameras roll, ratings climb. Meanwhile, BET's villainous CEO Deborah Leavell mocks her own mission. Our dream was to accomplish what hundreds of years of slavery, Jim Crow, and malt liquor couldn't: the destruction of black people. Satire, yes, but sharp as glass. As Huey wastes away in silence, Goodlove gets offered his own BET show. The strike that was meant to dismantle a system only feeds it more content. What began as resistance becomes entertainment. The protest is neutralized not by violence but by profit.
Welcome to BET headquarters. I'm Deborah Level. It's 2 p.m., so it's time for a morning staff meeting. Our leader, Bob Johnson, had a dream. A dream of creating a network that would accomplish what hundreds of years of slavery, Jim Crow, and malt liquor couldn't. The destruction of black people!
Yo, sister.
Is that so hard?
Mistress Level, since BET came into existence, terrible things have happened to black people. Dropout rates, teen pregnancy, unemployment, and incarceration have skyrocketed since our debut 25 years ago. We really believe we're making a difference.
The destruction of black people is not happening fast enough! The other day, I saw 3 reading books. One of them was smiling. Yes.
He gonna die.
No, I'll have to call him back. Oh, and I need another math guy. You know, the dude with the charts.
He dead.
Yeah, him. I need another one. Yeah, and a cleanup crew. Oh, and another shoe. Left. No, Prada. Whitey Redlin, my Harvard-educated president of entertainment. Tell me about the evil shows you have in development.
Tell it, brother.
Mistress Level, my Harvard education tells us that our goal is to take all the reality shows MTV did 5 years ago and make them black. Anyone who wants to see a black version of an MTV reality show, well, they'll have to come to us.
What else?
Next month, we're gonna have our first award show honoring video hosts, or as I like to call it, a award show.
Right. I don't get it.
Must be some of that Harvard humor.
Personnel! How are we money?
Well, let's see. As you've requested, nobody outside this room has been paid for months.
And you fired everyone that could read.
Mm-hmm.
I love it! Okay. And public relations?
Mistress Level, we got one thing to report, all right? Some little named Huey Freeman. Apparently he all critical of the network and talking about he's starting a hunger strike.
Why? What did we ever do to him except try to destroy black people? What's the problem?
This hunger strike will continue until BET is taken off the air, the office is shut down, and all its top executives commit Japanese rituals.
He's just a kid. No one can stand in my way of destroying black people. Especially not Huey Freeman.
It was in the news that I first heard the boycott had ended. The details were sketchy, but there was no mention of the network shutting down, nor of rituals. So I feared I had been had. A show? You sold me out for a show?
Damn it, Huey! You can't change BET from the outside. You got to change it from the inside. This is victory, brother. Now my message, our message, will get to the people.
It's a sitcom called My Dad Rollo. Do you have any idea how hungry I am?
You think I want my own sitcom, Huey? No, I really don't. But you can catch more flies with honey than you ever gonna catch with vinegar. And brother Huey, laughter is that sweet, sweet honey. Oh, Lord, child, have mercy. It's just gonna be... So you might as well get that money while you... Boy, stop! Boy, just stop! And go get something to eat. Me and Puffy haven't done at the chateau. You know you're welcome to come, don't you?
Thanks, Granddad. Granddad, what do you do when you can't do nothing, but there's nothing you can do?
You do what you can. Oh, by the way, did you hear they're giving Ruckus a job at BET? Can you believe that? What the hell is wrong with those people over there? Damn, they'll give anybody a job at BET.
I don't want one.
Shoot.
But the rally derails when BET co-ops Rollo with an entertainment contract. Huey's hunger strike ends in disappointment as meaningful protest is eclipsed by corporate PR. The episode skewers performative activism, the flashy protests, viral videos, and slick organizers who promise change but ultimately trade away genuine resistance for a show. In the end, Huey quips, "There is nothing I can do to change BET," a dark joke on how systemic forces swallow individual efforts. Kaepernick, Jay-Z, Huey, Freeman, different eras, different mediums, yet the same haunting cycle. Protest ignites, institutions absorb it, profit flows, the original demand is buried. Kaepernick loses his career, but Nike gains a campaign. Jay-Z gains a seat at the table, but critics see the NFL laundering its image. Huey's hunger strike reveals not revolution, but ratings. Each story poses a bitter question. Is protest still protest once it is sponsored? Is silence resistance, or has it been bought? As the credits near, we are left with uneasy questions. What is the true cost of bending a knee, raising a fist, or refusing to eat? Can genuine liberation survive the machinery of profit, or does every act of defiance risk being polished, packaged, and sold back to us? Colin Kaepernick is still unsigned, Jay-Z still builds empires from boardrooms, the Boondocks still lingers as prophecy in cartoon form, and America still wrestles with the same fractures: race, wealth, power, and protest. The stage, the stadium, and the screen may change, but the script does not. When black voices rise in protest, who gets silenced and who gets paid? These stories are not separate threads, but one woven fabric. Kaepernick's kneel, Jay-Z's handshake, Huey's hunger, all reveal the same cycle. When black protest grows too loud, institutions find ways to absorb it. The NFL silenced Kaepernick but embraced Jay-Z's star power. BET mocked protest while profiting from it. Nike sold resistance on a sneaker. At every turn, rebellion risks becoming branding. What do these patterns tell us? That protest is dangerous but also marketable. That to survive, activists are often forced into symbols, stripped of their complexity. Martyr or sellout, revolutionary or collaborator. The world demands labels, even as reality resists them.
I believe that us honoring our flag and our anthem is part of what binds us together as a nation. And I think that for me, for my family, for those who work in the White House, we recognize what it means to us, but also what it means to the men and women who are fighting on our behalf. But I'm also always trying to remind folks that part of what makes this country special is that we respect people's rights to have a different opinion and to make different decisions about how they want to express their concerns. And the test of our fidelity to our Constitution, to freedom of speech, to our Bill of Rights, is not when it's easy, but when it's hard. We fight sometimes so that people can do things that we disagree with. But that's what freedom means in this country. And so, my hope would be that as this debate surfaces, we're always reminding ourselves that in a democracy like ours, there are going to be a lot of folks who do stuff that we just don't agree with. But as long as they're doing it within the law, then we can voice our opinion objecting to it, but it's also their right. And I think that it's also important for us to recognize that sometimes out of these controversies, we start getting into a conversation, and I want everybody to listen to each other. So I want Mr. Kaepernick and others who are on a knee, I want them to listen to the pain that may cause somebody who, for example, had a spouse or a child who was killed in combat, and why it hurts them to see somebody not standing. But I also want people to think about the pain that he may be expressing about somebody who's lost a loved one that they think was unfairly shot. And one of the things I always say about American democracy is it can be frustrating, but it's the best system we got. And the only way that we make it work is to see each other, listen to each other, try to be respectful of each other, not just go into separate corners. And I do hope that anybody who's trying to express any political view of any sort understands that they do so under the blanket of protection of our men and women in uniform, and that appreciation of that sacrifice is never lost.
As the film fades to black, we are left with questions. Has America truly moved past kneeling or simply past listening? What happens when protest is no longer disruptive, but decorative, a marketing tool for those in power? Colin Kaepernick lost his career, yet gained a legacy. Jay-Z gained power, yet lost trust. Huey Freeman abandoned his hunger strike, realizing even sacrifice can be commodified. The cycle repeats, kneeling, deals, ratings, profit. But somewhere within this loop, the truth still breathes that liberation cannot be bought, packaged, or staged. That beyond the slogans and the contracts lies a deeper fight, one that resists co-option. So we ask, what does real progress look like? Can true freedom ever coexist with compromise? Or will every act of protest eventually be sold back to us, stitched into a sneaker, played at halftime, or laughed at on a cartoon screen? The credits roll, but the struggle does not end. The question echoes unresolved when black voices protest, who profits and who is silenced?